Hey world, やってるザクタリムロード。こんにちは世界を。モノザクと申します。Hey world, it is I, Zach the Demon Lord, and yet again another YouTube video. Yeah, so with this video, kind of like my last video, we'll be talking about writing system. I just wanted to go kind of in order of the other series I made. So last video was Swedish, this video is Japanese. We'll be talking about the writing system of Japanese, or at least two of them. We won't talk about kanji in this video, but we will be talking about the Kana systems, so Hiragana and Katakana, and how they work. There's plenty of videos about this online, so don't take mine to be the best, but yeah. I don't really need it for the most part. I just have it out to just keep me focused, but yeah. We'll be referring to, or I will be referring to some stuff from this textbook, Japanese Demystified. It's a pretty good series. It's by Eriko Sato. So yeah, I'll open it up and I'll include charts for you. But yeah. So as I talked about, Hiragana and Katakana are still very system. If you watch my Japanese video, you'll know that. So it's gonna go by sound sort of combos, right? But I talked about syllables, like for example, we're Japanese, Japanese. That's 3 syllables. Or you know, you could look at Zach the Demon Lord, Zach the Demon Lord, and you would know that there are 5 syllables there. Anyways, that's kind of how the writing system works. Is based off of syllables. So you'll see a chart somewhere on the screen about now, and yeah, so kind of how the chart works, depending on what the chart is, it'll either go downwards or go across, but whatever way it goes is going downwards or across in what is considered the first row. You got A, I, U, E, O. So A, I, U, E, and O are pronounced like that. Obviously, that's the Roman letters are just there purely for pronunciation's sake to help you. But yeah, A, I, U, E, O, and then going across whatever way, or up and down whatever way the chart will look like. Will after that will be the K group. So Ka, Ki, Ku, Ke, Ko. And I'll show you, depending on what the chart looks like. If it's in the chart, great. If not, you can add an accent or rakuten to, I forget. Sorry for that break. I knew what would happen eventually. Still need to get a better camera. But yeah, let me go back to the chart. As I was saying though, with the K group is you can add an accent to the K group letters to change it from K to the G group. I don't know if it'll be on the chart or not, but you can do that. I think they're called rakuten. Don't quote me. I forget what they call the letters, but yeah, or the accent marks. But yeah, so you can change ka, ki, ku, ke, ko to ga, gi, gu, ge, go with some accent letter marker that kind of attaches itself to the letter. Next group is S group. We have sa, shi, su, se, so. And notice that the second letter is not si, but shi. It is always pronounced shi. There is a way to write the C noise, but it's just not native into the Japanese language. Next we got ta, chi, tsu, te, to. Or actually, before we get there, I should have mentioned the same thing with the S group. You can accent that to the Z's. I'm kind of an idiot and I forgot to talk about the accenting. But yeah, sa, shi, su, se, so can become za, ji, zu, ze, zo. So yeah, that shi becomes ji, j, I. Now you can also pronounce ji, ji. It's up to you whether you want to pronounce it ji or ji. Both are technically correct. And then the T group, which was what I accidentally said, started going into, is ta, chi, tsu, te, to. You'll notice that the second and third letters are pronounced a little different. The second one is not T, but chi. And the third one is not tu, but su. So as a TS noise. Ts, ts. So yeah, su. And when you accent them, they become the D group. And we get da, ji, zu, de, do. So yeah, chi becomes G and is only pronounced G. It is very rare to see this letter though. And then su becomes zu. So kind of imagine switching the TS to DZ. There are some people that just pronounce it zu, but I personally pronounce it zu. So yeah. Then we get the N group. Na, ni, nu, na, no. These cannot get accented, they stay as is. We get to the H group next. Ha, he, hu, he, ho. You'll notice the third letter is different. It is not hu, but rather hu. It is an F noise, but not like the typical European F. European F, we have the, I have to think about, yeah, top teeth, bottom lip. In Japanese F, you pronounce it purely with your lips. Hu, hu, hu. So yeah, that is the thing. You can accent these two. If you put the typical accent that I've been putting on the other ones, it becomes the B group. So we get ba, bi, bu, be, bo. And then there's also a second accent, which is a little circle. And then this can also apply to the H group and only applies to the H group. When you put this accent on it, it turns into the P group. So we get pa, pi, pu, pe, po. So yeah, the H group is important because it basically takes up a majority of your letters. Because it's ha, hi, hu, he, ho, accent to a different accent. Ba, bi, bu, be, bo, accent again. Pa, pi, pu, pe, po. So yeah. And then after that we have the M group, which is ma, mi, mu, me, mo. Like the N group, they cannot be accented. We have the Y group, which are ya, you, yo. There is no yi. There is a way to write that out, but it, even with the way to write it out, isn't really used at all. And then ye also doesn't exist under this Hiragana, which is the Japanese sort of writing system. Although there is technically a way to write it, it would be for the other system. Anyways, and isn't very popular. Next we get the R group, which is ra, ri, ru, re, ro. It's kind of similar to hard R, but not exactly. Japanese R, the trick to the Japanese R, from basically you're gonna want to take your tongue and put it kind of where the top of your teeth meets the top of your gums, and kind of pronounce in between an R and an L. So ra, ri, ru, re, ro. And sometimes it can sound a little bit more like ra, ri, ru, re, ro. There's some words that it depends. Sometimes the R sounds a little different. For example, using the sound samurai, samurai sounds a little bit harder, but maybe you will run into also in the word raishu, raishu, where it sounds more like an L. So just keep in mind that it's its own unique sort of noise, and you have to get used to it. Next we have the W group, which is has only two letters, wa and o. O can also be pronounced wo, but you usually don't pronounce it wo. Usually in the cases of pronouncing it, wo is going to be like in some songs. I've seen some songs where it gets pronounced wo. I will also mention the only time you're going to come across the letter wo, or o as it's usually pronounced, is going to be in the context of it as a particle. This letter is basically only the object particle. You will not come across it very much any other time or any other case. And then the last letter, which is the most unique letter in all of the Japanese alphabet, is the letter n. So yeah, this is not it. If you look there, you'll see an N probably. I don't know what the chart I have up looks like, but it'll look like an N. It's not exactly an N. If it's in the case of the reason why it's an N is it's kind of more like the French nasal N. For example, in the word garçon, right, which is boy in French. It's more of that nasal in the back of your throat. Mm, mm, mm. For example, in Japanese, pang or penguin or something along those lines. It's not a ng, not an ng, but it's kind of just nasal. Anyways, sometimes though it can sound more like an M. For example, tempura, tempura, tempura. So yeah, sometimes when it comes before certain letters, which is going to be before M group letters, B group and P group letters, is going to sound more like an M. Any other case sounds more like an N, but is nasal. Now I will show you another chart with the hiragana. This one is going to show you how to make combo noises. And these, I'm just going to show you the base ones. Just know that it's possible to make a lot. So the gist of the combo noises is you're going to take the E row, and add the Y noises to it to make ya versions. For example, in the K group we have kya, kyu, and kyo. Kya, kyu, kyo. Kya, kyu, kyo. Because it's ki, ya, ki, yu, and ki, yo. But it's not kia, kiyu, kiyo. Because if it's that, those small versions of the Y's, the Y group, would be big. But since they're small, it's a combo sort of symbol. They come together to make kya, kyu, kyo. And going on to the G's, we got gya, gyu, gyo. S's, we got sha, shu, sho. J's, ja, ju, jo, or ja, ju, jo, depending how you want to pronounce it. The CH's, cha, chu, cho. And then the DJ, or sometimes it'll just be referred to as J as well. We got ja, ju, jo. N group, nya, nyu, nyo. H, hya, hyu, hyo. B, bya, byu, byo. P, pya, pyu, pyo. M, mya, myu, myo. And then the R group, ya, yu, yo. So yeah. As for the hiragana, that is what you'll need. That is what is most important to know. Next, we'll go into the katakana. Katakana and hiragana charts are basically the same. You got your a, I, u, e, o, your ka, ki, ku, ke, ko, that turns into ga, gi, gu, ge, go. You got your sa, shi, su, se, so, that changes into za, ji, zu, ze, zo. You have your ta, chi, tsu, te, to, that changes into da, ji, zu, de, do. You have your nani, nu, ne, no, your ha, hi, fu, he, ho, that change into babi, bu, be, bo, and papi, pu, pe, po. You have your ma, mi, mu, me, mo, and your ya, yu, yo, and your rari, ru, re, ro, and your wa, and your o, and your I will tell you, the o, you are probably never gonna see that. So yes, learn it, keep it in the back of your mind. Just know you'll never see it. Only cases I have ever seen the katakana o is in some anime or manga where they want to be interesting and write out the hiragana with katakana. That is the only case I've ever seen that. Or sometimes when they want to be funny with O letters, with the other O that isn't wo but O. But yeah. Now I will say this is where you're gonna get some interesting. You can do a lot more complex things as sound noises. Like looking at this first group, you can change the oo to vu, by adding the accent to it, and you can further change that to va, vi, vu, ve, vo. With that, I'll kind of write it somewhere. I won't remember everything, but yeah. And same can be said. You get your other normal ones like kya, kyu, kyo, and all that other stuff, gya, gyu, gyo, and your yeah, all that stuff. Let me think of other ones. Going to the S group, it is possible. You know how we have like sha, shi, shu, sho. You can write she as well. So, and you'll see that with the va, vi, vu, vivo is you can minimize not only the Y group but also all the vowels themselves can be have a miniature version of themselves. So yeah, with that you can make a she, and the same can be said. You can make with the J group jaji ju jo or jaji ju jo, however you want to pronounce it. Let's see, going into the T group with the letter chi, you can make a cha chi chu che cho, and opposite wise you can make a jaji ju je jo. Looking at the tsu, you can also edit tsu to make ta tsu te ta tsi tsu te to and za zi zu ze do. It's not very common, but you can do that technically. Going into the H group with the F, the fu, you can make fa fi fu fe fo. I'll write it out. Let's see, N group. Oh, I did forget with the T group. The te, with the te in specific, you can make let's see, you can make a T and a D, and I think also a tu and a du, if I remember right. Yeah, you can. And then with the to, you can make a tu, and you can also make a do. Oh, going back to the S group with the su, you can make a C and opposite wise a Z. So yeah, that's one thing I did forget over there. Now moving back over to the Y group. So with the ya, yu, yo, for the yi noise, we're actually going to go in both the yi and the ya. We're going to go over to actually to the e or I, as it is in English, the e noise. You just kind of attach another e to make yi, and you add an ed to make it yeah. So yeah, we went over the r's, and yeah, okay. Yeah, and for the W's, going into the W group, same thing with them, except for you go to the O, the U, the U letter, and you just attach miniature vowels. So you can, I mean, there's already wa, there's an other wo though, so you can make wa, we, woo, wo, and a wo that is permanently wo and not also o. So yeah, and then the you can't do anything with the to make it unique. So yeah, so yeah. That has been Hiragana Katakana for the most part. The only other special thing pronunciation-wise that I have to include is the tsu. There's a miniature version of the tsu that can go in between words. For example, I will think of a noise. Gaka. Gaka. I'll write it somewhere on the board. Gaka. And if we put a tsu in between that and make it gatsuka with a big tsu, it would be gatsuka. I don't know what that means. It's just an sound example. But if we change that and make that tsu a mini tsu, it's going to attach itself to the K and make the K a double K noise, which is going to make it a glottal K. So instead of gaka, it's gakka. Gakka. It's kind of a little breath space in between. Gakka. And this can do with any other word. For example, there's a popular area in Japan called Roppongi, that if the miniature tsu was not there, it'll be Roppongi, but because there's a little one, it's Roppongi. What is another example? My own name. My own name would be Za, little tsu, ku. If it weren't there, if that little tsu weren't there, it'd be Zaku. But with it there, it's Zaku. Zaku. Right? So yeah, that's one thing pronunciation-wise. Let me think if there's anything else. So yeah, only other thing I can think of is there are sometimes some vowels that kind of get dropped. You're gonna notice it with chi, chi, su, and then she as well. Basically, sometimes with the e and u noises, the e's and u's kind of get muttered almost and not very much pronounced. For example, instead of just saying sushi, someone might just be like sushi, sushi, or instead of gakuse, someone might be like gakse, gakse, and kind of rush through, and sometimes vowels get forgotten. Oh, there's also vowel combos, I guess, that I have to worry about. So, kind of going down, a plus e is, or let's just do double vowels first. There's such a thing as double vowels. So if you see two ah sounds together, it's ah, ah. So one by itself, ah, ah. Okay? E, e. U, oo. Eh, eh. O, o. So there's also double vowels to worry about as well. A plus E, so A plus I is I. The A plus the U is ow. A plus E is I. A plus O is ow. Ow. Then going to the I and A is ia. I plus U is you. I plus E is ia. And E plus O is io. Not very difficult with that group. So yeah, the U and the A, ua, u, I, ui, u, e, ue, and u, o, uo. E, a, e, I, e. This acts as two e letters. E, u, eu, and e, o, el. Then going to o, a, oa, o, I, oi, o, u, ou, o. So acts as two o letters. O, e, oe, and yeah, there we have it. So yeah, there's all the hiragana and katakana for you. That's we went over them, their bases. We went over. They have accent markers that can get applied. They have combination letters that can be a thing, and as well they have long vowels, and then there's that glottal thing that happens with the little tsu. So if you get used to that, you'll be able to write most things in Japanese. So yeah, that has been a basic Japanese writing video for you. Hopefully you understood everything. If you have questions, just write them below. Of course, consult other videos as well. I just try to go over things as fast as I can. But yes, that has been Japanese writing system for you, the Kana systems. If you're still interested in another video, I'll write more about the kanjis, so that way we'll get the third and final writing system out of the way. But yeah, if you enjoyed it, give it a like, please subscribe, and share with those interested in the Japanese language. I am happy that if you have watched this video, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Until then, hedo or jana.